The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Darren Mougey, you're the guy. He is the next general manager of the New York Jets. It's Mougey and Glenn. They are the new GM and head coach tandem. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby.
Number one, we play with maximum effort. There's three elements of effort. Got burst, speed, and finish. If I don't see one of those, man, you're a traitor. Go play for somebody else. Win, lose, or draw. The one thing you're going to say about our defense, using the fight. That's an ass kicker.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Darren Mougey, you're the GM of the Jets. Come on down, baby. It's Mougey time. Wow. Did not have Darren Mougey getting this job when this process started, huh? I don't know if anyone did. Look, the first thing I'll say is this. He's the GM. Give him a chance. Got to hope that the Jets finally got it right with the GM selection. But let's be real. We started this process, at least I know I did and many of my fellow Jet fans, saying the Jets need to hire people who've done the job before. They need to hire people with experience. Hire people who have done the job that you're hiring them for. Well, guess what? The Jets now have a first-time GM and a first-time head coach. All right. I hope it works. So I'm sick of losing. It's only been 15 years without the playoffs. It's only been 10 years without a winning season. By the way, it's been 10 years since they won more than 7 games in a season. It's only been over 20 since the division title, and I don't need to remind anyone out there how long it's been since the last Super Bowl. Look, you never know with any hire. The Lions hired Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. They were first-timers in their roles, and they turned it around. This can be great. It also could suck. What I won't do is sit here, though, and act like I'm thrilled with what the Jets have now done with Darren Mougey and Aaron Glenn. I wanted the experience. I think New York is a tough place to be a general manager when your head coach is also a first-time head coach. Now, it helps that Glenn obviously knows the Jets organization. He was a Jet. He was here when it was bad. He was here when it was good, when it was actually great. But we're still talking about 2 first-timers that are now learning on the job. And you hope, just like I hope with Aaron Glenn hiring some experience to his staff, I hope Darren Mougey does the same thing. Because here's the reality. Darren Mougey's resume, I could give you it. 13 years in Denver. 7 positions in total that he held there. He got promoted 3 times in his first 4 years. Scouting intern to personnel and scouting assistant to college and pro personnel scout to area scout to assistant director of college scouting to director of player personnel to assistant GM. He's qualified. But I don't know how he's going to be. He's the 3rd youngest GM in the league. New York ain't for everybody. It's not easy being the GM of the Jets. Not easy being the head coach of the Jets. It's hard. I hope Darren Mougey is ready for this role. Because this is a real tough job, and there are some real tough decisions Mougey's going to have to make. And not just him, Aaron Glenn, because there's no chance they're hiring this guy unless Aaron Glenn is on board with this decision. Glenn was hired first. He's the face of the organization now. It's him. Glenn's got a scouting background before he got into coaching. So the Jets are showing a lot of faith in Aaron Glenn. And ultimately, yeah, Woody's making the final call. But I'm telling you, Glenn is not signing on board with this move if he didn't believe in the guy. And Darren Mougey comes highly regarded, right, from Sean Payton and George Patton, who's also in Denver. I mean, we'll find out. Darren Mougey was there when they won the Super Bowl in Denver. He was there when they had the second longest playoff drought in sports. He was there this past year when, despite an NFL record, $80-something million in dead cap because of the Russell Wilson contract, Denver made the playoffs. He's seen the good, he's seen the bad. Denver's drafted really well the last few years, so Mougey's been there for that, but we don't know how he'll be as general manager. We don't. I thought the move would have been a guy like Thomas Dimitroff. That's who I wanted. He got one interview. He was the first guy, and that was it. Ultimately, out of the 16 candidates the Jets interviewed, only 3 of them got second interviews. That's it. Lance Newmark, Darren Mougey, and Trey Brown. And it's Mougey getting the job. We will find out how he does. What we don't know is how it's going to work out. I won't sit here and say great hire. I won't say bad hire. I wanted experience at one of the positions. They did neither. It's 2 first-timers learning on the job. And I'm not giving them a break. They better win. There's talent on this team. They better win. All right? You're not getting 6 years like Joe Douglas to go 30-64. It's enough. This fan base is disgusted, and it's time to win games. They better win games. They're not getting this massive rebuild plan. There's talent on this team now. Go win 10 games and be in the playoffs next year. Happens in the NFL all the time. The Washington Commanders are playing in the NFC title game. The Houston Texans were on their 3rd coach in 3 years. Now they're in the playoffs back-to-back years. Chargers made the playoffs with Harbaugh in year 1 there. Denver in year 2 with Sean Payton in the playoffs with a rookie quarterback. Great example because that's where Mougey's coming from. And that's Aaron Glenn's mentor. This doesn't need to take forever for this team to be good. Time to win games. I'll support Mougey. I hope he does a good job. I hope Aaron Glenn is great. You love Aaron Glenn as a player. You love his background. He's a first-time coach, the first-time GM. Better be right. Because I don't know how much more this fan base can take. But good or bad, we don't know how it's going to go. If you're betting against it working, you're probably going to be right because that's the history of the Jets. But we could have said the same thing 4 years ago about the Detroit Lions when Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes got there as a first-time head coach and a first-time GM. Could have said the same thing in San Francisco when Kyle Shanahan got there as a first-time coach and John Lynch a first-time GM. This can work. I just felt like the Jets had a more guaranteed chance of being a good team and figuring it out long-term with people that have done the job before. But coaching-wise, they didn't interview Mike McCarthy. They interviewed Brian Flores. That was my choice of the guys they interviewed. GM-wise, they interviewed Thomas Dimitroff. They interviewed Brian Gaine. I would have hired one of those guys. They didn't. We're not in the interview. I don't know if Darren Mougey is the right guy or not. I don't know if he wowed them in the interview process, what he said to them. We weren't there. You have to hope that Mike Tannenbaum and Rick Spielman, who have been GMs in this league, successful GMs in this league, they felt comfortable with Woody's decision. Because ultimately, it's on Woody. These are his people that he's hiring. Woody has tried to distance himself from Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh, saying he wasn't here when they were hired, which is true. He was in London. Still his brother. But the last time Woody hired the GM and coach, how'd that work out? That gave us Todd Bowles and Mike McCagnon. So I hope it's better this time around because, one, it can't be worse. And two, this fan base deserves it. I'm sick of it, man. Saturday night, I just got done with radio. I was on Mad Dog Radio for 4 hours. 4:37, Jets have a new GM. Of course. If you watched my first stream today, I knew that's exactly what would happen. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's get a bunch of memberships gifted. Our raffles are either going to be Monday or Tuesday. The Aaron Glenn introductory press conference is now the Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey introductory press conference. That's going to be Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be live after that reacting. If you gift the membership, you're in the raffle for the signed Garrett Wilson jersey. If you send in a $20 super chat, that is 5 raffle entries. You also can win an Aaron Glenn signed card, a Joe Klecko signed jersey, a Gusbuster umbrella, a Brees Hall signed trading card, and the grand prize of them all, baby, a signed Zach Wilson card worth millions of dollars. I'm kidding. CJ Mosley. So we got like 7 prizes for the raffle. Appreciate everyone tuning in here. Quick reminder, I'm wearing merch right now. We have our winter merch that is out. Adidas pullovers, long sleeve shirts. JakeAsman.com/shop. Check it out. Hit the winter launch tab in the merch store and you'll see JakeAsman.com/shop. How are we feeling, Jet fans? Darren Mougey is now the next GM of the Jets. I hope he's better than 30-64. Hard to be worse. Click the like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're one of the 500 plus people watching live right now. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. How we feeling, Jet fans? Gusbuster hotline link I will put in the comments. I will pin it for people to call in and weigh in. A little Saturday night soiree here. I am in hour number 6 of broadcasting today, so let's have some fun, baby. Malcolm starts us off. In my opinion, I still think we need to hire a president of football operations. I agree. Now, one name to watch is reportedly the ex-GM of the Raiders, Ziegler, Dave Ziegler. Him and Mougey know each other. Maybe he's someone that can be added to the front office. So, name to watch. Story Lynn. Jake, who the hell is that? He's Darren Mougey, baby. I don't know. I know he's 6'6". We went from an obese GM to a skinny GM. I don't know if that translates to picking good players and winning games, but that's one observation I have for you. I mean, this guy played quarterback in college and then converted to wide receiver. He was Kevin O'Connell's roommate. Can he get him to be the coach? Sorry, Aaron Glenn, but I mean, Kevin O'Connell's pretty freaking good. Forever Ron writes in, the Jake Asman, I'm ready to get hurt again. You'll probably be hurt. That's how this works. But until then, let's root for the guy and hope he does great. Super chat from Brian. He cuts the line. Jake, the defense definitely needs to be better with AG. We have to upgrade multiple positions on defense as well. Jets must crush the draft this year. Keep up the great work. Look, they got to crush the draft every year. I mean, that's how teams are built. And the defense, I think, will automatically be better with Aaron Glenn, especially if he hires Steve Wilkes as the DC. But the core of the defense is in place. There's obviously some moves they need to make on the back end at safety, and the defensive line needs to be revamped. But you're still starting next season with an all-pro corner, an elite nickel corner, an elite middle linebacker. Hopefully they re-sign Sherwood so we could say 2 very good linebackers, an elite defensive tackle in Q. Jermaine Johnson, I know he's coming up the Achilles now, but he's still a very good player. I still think he'll be good. Will McDonald's a 10-sack guy now. They got good players on this defense. Better coaching this defense. I think we'll be fine. Forever Ron, it's electric. Mougey, Mougey, Mougey. The amount of parody songs we could do with Mougey. I can't wait for that. Mougey, Mougey, Mougey. Can't you see? Sometimes your draft picks just hypnotize me. I mean, we got a lot to work with here. I'll leave that to Gator and everybody else. I'm not a singer. All right. I'm a talk show host. There's a difference. By the way, 4 to 8 tomorrow, ESPN New York. Spread the word. Tell every loved one in your life that they need to listen to Jake Asman on ESPN New York tomorrow. All right? You all listened tonight on Sirius. I know you did. Now you need to listen on ESPN New York. In real time, I will actively be rooting against the Bills on the radio. Can't wait. Hex writes in, when do you think the OC and DC will get done? Well, Aaron Glenn plans to follow the Woody Johnson model and interview 17 candidates for each role. So we're going to be waiting. No, I think by the end of next week, we'll get something. I don't know if it will be in place by Monday, but I think we'll get something in place by the end of next week. I mean, you'd like to get the DC and OC situation figured out. And also, this is going to be on Woody Johnson. You got to let Aaron Glenn hire his staff. And to do that, the owner needs to spend money to get the staff. Nick Caley's been rumored to go to the Jets, right? He's been connected. He turned down $3 million a year last year from New England to be their OC. So if you want Kaylee, if that's the guy, you got to be able to spend money. And hopefully Woody is. He has spent money in the past, but he's got to be willing to do it again now for the coaching staff. AZ Frankie writes in, Glenn will infuse Parcells' energy. Rex Ryan for DC. If Rex's ego would allow him to do it, and if Glenn wanted that, I'd love to have Rex as the DC. I can't picture Rex being a defensive coordinator for the Jets. I could see him doing it for Schottenheimer with Dallas, for example, which, by the way, Schotty's back. What a world. I could see that happening, right? Rex interviewed for DC jobs the last couple of years. I can't see Rex taking a job with the Jets that's not the head coach, right? He actively campaigned for this job, said he was the best guy for the job. I don't see it. I don't think Rex would do it. Now, I could be wrong. Two of his former players, Bart Scott and Leger Douzable, say they think Rex would. I don't know if Glenn wants that. But if Rex wanted to be a DC, yeah, would love it. Brian with a super chat. Jake, you have to start multiple Jet streamers together like yesterday's roundtable. I will work on that for you, Brian. It's tough to get everyone with their schedule. Bo with a super chat. An Aaron Glenn defense is extremely versatile. 3-4-4-3, always changing. I absolutely love it, but I'm concerned about the current players' adaptation. Coach is coach, man. Coach to the players you have. If Aaron Glenn's the coach we think he is, then I'm not worried about that. I think the Jets got the players to be good on defense. There's tweaks, obviously, but I think they're going to be okay there. Here's Aaron Glenn talking about his mindset as a coach when he coaches defense.
First off, I'm going to give you what I tell our guys our defensive philosophy is, right? And that's going to go on to be an ass kicker. Number one, we play with maximum effort. All right, here's what I tell guys. There's 3 elements of effort. Got burst, speed, and finish, right? So if I don't see one of those, right, like you just went against our standard. You just went against, if I don't see all 3 of them, I don't see it, man, you're a traitor. Go play for somebody else. Go play for somebody else. And they know that. You could ask everyone that's in that room, defensive room, if we don't see all 3 of those, you are a traitor. Go play for the other team. All right, the next one is violence. Man, we want to bring that back because what happened, the refs, not the refs, but the NFL, right, the rules have brought that out of the game. All right, but we're going to bring that back the right way, though, the right way. We understand the rules, but, man, you can be violent in this game still, right, even with the rules, right? There's a way of being violent. Man, the last one, man, we want to take the ball away, right? I'm talking about punching the ball. I'm talking about interceptions, and we have to have awareness as far as what the offense is doing, right? So when you put all those together, man, that's an ass kicker to me, right? And that's what we try to be on the field. And listen, win, lose, or draw, the one thing you're going to say about our defense, you was in the fight. You in the fight. So I got, and all good, because at the end of the day, man, we're going to win majority of those battles. I tell you that, right? We're going to win, and we got to get there, right? But you're going to know you was in the fight. That's an ass kicker.
An ass kicker.
I like it. Aaron Glenn says the right things. He'll win the press conference Monday. I'm not worried about that. This is not going to be Adam Gase going, oh, my eyes are falling out of my sockets. We won't have that. I'm not worried about that. All right. But, I mean, that doesn't mean he's going to be a good coach. I hope like hell he is, though. Every Jet fan should be rooting for Aaron Glenn. He wasn't my first choice, but let's not pretend like he's not a good choice. He deserves a shot. So does Mougey. What a name. From Douglas to Mougey. I love it. All right. I need all the Asmaniacs to come together here. First person to send me the Darren Mougey song. I'm playing it on the air. So we had all the rap battles over the summer when we had excitement for this terrible franchise. Hopefully, all our talented musicians out there could give us some Darren Mougey hits. You can include Aaron Glenn as well. And you know what? I feel like I haven't been as excited as I want to be. You know, I've just been burnt so many times. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to try and fire myself up. I'm going to try and fire up the Asmaniacs. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. All right? I want this to work. I want to believe. I'm going to give it a chance. So I'm going to give you guys Gators Aaron Glenn anthem. 31 AGHC. Let's go. I'm sold, baby. The Super Bowl is back on. Here we go. Let's go, baby. Yeah. Woo! Playoff drought my ass. I'll see you in the bowl next year, everybody. At least we hope. Good job, Gator. When we get Aaron Glenn's quotes from the presser, we'll add a real music video in there. Let's go. Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats. Luppy's in on the raffle. He wants a signed Klecko jersey. He wants a signed Garrett Wilson jersey. Yeah, baby. It's all happening. He wants a replica Super Bowl III ring. How about 5 raffle entries from our guy, the Lup Man? All right, here's who got it. Let me get the names here. Margaret Lankry, Michael Kufeld, Zach, Mark Papish, and Sat XNYS. Getting memberships there from the Lup Man. First person to gift. Thank you, Luppy. Appreciate your support as always. Peter Castro says, was the 33rd team involved? Yeah, I mean, they were involved in the whole process. I hope the next step is that we hear about one of the Spielmans sticking around in some role in the front office. That'd make me feel a little better about a first-time GM. Derek says, Mougey is 6'6". Hell yeah. Great. He's tall. Can he pick players? I don't know. You know? Joe Douglas. Let's see how. We know Joe Douglas was like 300 pounds, but how tall was he? Joe Douglas was 5'11". It didn't really matter. Remember, Joe Douglas was an offensive line expert because he played O-line? Ironically, Joe Douglas actually leaves the Jets with a decent offensive line. It just took too long for him to be able to see the benefit of that. Big fellow, Woody got used by the 33rd team. Not necessarily. If Glenn is awesome and Mougie's awesome, who cares? Rob says, like the hires, just need to get a good DC and OC. I am cautiously optimistic, and we'll find out. That's where I'm at. I've been burnt too many times, Rob. Forever Ron has gifted a channel membership. He's in the raffle for 1 channel membership. Let it rip, Gorman.
I think the second one. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah. That's that sweet smell of victory tonight for Charles Gorman. Craig Smith, you're a member from Forever Ron. South Philly has gifted a channel membership. South Philly, thank you very much for supporting the channel. Appreciate it. I have beers to drink after this. Charlie Gadsden is a recipient of the membership. Thank you very much to South Philly. Our guy J-Mag's in the house. Jay is the one who was nice enough to donate the Garrett Wilson jersey that we're using for one of the auction prizes, raffle prizes next week. Jay is the man. So we got the signed G-Dub jersey. By the way, has Darren Mougey offered a contract extension yet to Garrett? It's 8:32. He got hired like 5 hours ago. Why am I not doing a show talking about Garrett's extension? I'm 100% good with the hires. Just get the coordinators right and extend the good players now. No more BS. Just win. This fan base is out of patience. Win games. This is not a rebuild. This is not a 5-year plan. Nonsense. Takes a year to 2 years max in the NFL to turn it around. All right. I'm watching the Commanders play for a chance to go to the Super Bowl tomorrow. They had the 2nd pick in the draft. Houston's been in the playoffs the last 2 years. Denver was cap hell. Can't win. Playoff team. Detroit, no one can win there. They turned it around. Cleveland's made the playoffs. How many times since the last time the Jets made the playoffs? You know, Todd Bowles has been in the playoffs the last couple of years as a head coach. Let's go. Win games, man. Can't take it anymore. Fly by night writes in. Very happy it's at least settled. Wish the process was more veteran filled, but we got to root for what we got. Let's go, Jets. That's how I feel. I'm rooting for our guys. If you want an Aaron Glenn signed card, gift the membership or it's $20 super chat, we'll get you in there. I had to order another one today for one Mikey Midnight, who joins us on the Gusbuster hotline right now. Mikey! Oh, no, I can't hear you, Mikey. Where's your audio? Mikey! I think you can hear me, but we can't hear you. So here's what we'll do. If you like the Jets hiring Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey, clap your hands and get excited. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll dance. All right. You're like Beningo after we went to the Jet Giant game together. Love it. Mikey, try and call back, and I'll go back to you. Love that. All right, if Mikey's on board, I'm back in. Let's go. Love that. Man, I haven't heard from Bobby Midnight in days. I'll tell you what, my favorite Woodruff might be Mikey now. Unbelievable. Fly by night. Very happy it's at least. I already read that one. My fault. All right, more of your calls right now. Let's say hello to the hamburger. What's up, hamburger?
Hey, what's up, Jake?
How are you, man?
Good, man. Boogie, huh? Another first time. You know, I feel like you, man. It's hard to get excited. I'm gonna get excited as we get closer, but it's just a little tough pill to swallow that we didn't, interview any more experienced guys. But I don't know. It is what it is. I'm excited to see what we can do in a draft and see what this guy can do. I mean, he's 6'6". Who at 6'6" can't make good picks? I mean, that should be a no-brainer. But listen, man, today with the family, I had an awesome time at Amazing Day, Mets Amazing Day, and I got to meet my idol, not my idol, but my favorite Met player of all time, David Wright, which I've never met before, and I got to take pictures with him with my kids, and which only one picture, but it was amazing just to meet somebody like that. I'm not starstruck ever, and there's a few people that really give me those butterflies in my stomach. And he's one of those guys, man. I was very fortunate to meet him today. So that was awesome.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, it was definitely good. But listen, man, I hope this works out. I really do. I'm hoping that it works out. My neighbor keeps telling me, yo, man, come on. Give me a Jets chant. I'm like, not yet, man. I'm going to wait a little while. At least get me to summertime, baby.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Look,
So
gotta win games, hamburger. I'm right there with you, man. Good call. It's not going to take much for this fan base to get excited again, but let's win games. Mougey wrote that it's Mougey. I want to know if it's Mougey or Mougey. No one's told me anything. It's Mougey. Either way, I don't care what his name is. Just win games, man. Pick good players. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Let's say hello to Noah, who's up next on our show this evening. Hello, Noah.
Hey, man, Jake, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Can you hear me?
I hear you, Noah. I hear you better than I heard Mikey Midnight, that's for sure.
I'd like to preface this by saying I was cursed as a Jets fan at birth. 20 minutes after I was born, my grandfather came up to me. He goes, Jets, 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 Jets. And it was like a spell was put on me. And I hate it. The last time we were in the playoffs, I was in second grade. We were playing the Steelers. I had to go to – it was past my bedtime at halftime. I didn't even get to watch us lose.
Let me tell you, you should be glad you didn't have to watch that. I to this day, have never watched the full highlights from that game. It still hurts me too much.
It is so frustrating because, first – so I go to UMD, right? And when Loxley was interviewed – I got clowned on by everyone, but that's how I feel as a Jets fan. Like it was almost like comedic, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, he had no chance of getting the job, but that is what annoyed me about the coach search, that we wasted our time with him and didn't talk to Mike McCarthy, didn't talk to Pete Carroll, didn't talk to John Gruden, didn't put in a request for Cliff, didn't put in a request for Monken, didn't put in a request for Cohen. And you could say, the Jets got turned down by some of these guys. Not all of them. Peter Schrager, who's really good friends with Cliff Kingsbury, said the Jets didn't even put in a request for him. So I'm not saying you got to hire Cliff Kingsbury, but, I didn't love the process, how we got here. I like Glenn as a candidate. Wasn't my first choice, but he's a good candidate. I don't know anything about Mougey like everyone else. You just hope they got it right. We don't know.
We're Jets fans. We get excited very easily because one sniff of winning to us is so monumental, right? Because we don't know when, as much as we want to trick ourselves into thinking that, this, like you said, this could be a fantastic hire. But at the same time, look at the past three coaches and GMs we've had. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, never experienced in their roles, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's once again, first timers again and again and again.
it's like that kid who keep, it's like you're in a casino. You keep thinking you're gonna get the cards right this time, but you keep doing the same darn thing. The definition of insanity, I don't know, many people know this. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking it's gonna work. And I know you got great other calls coming in. I'll keep it short and sweet, but it is just year after year. Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing?
I get it, man. No, a good call. Look, here's the thing. Anyone good at their job in the NFL, at GM or coach, at one point they were first timers. You just have to hope the Jets finally pick the right people, because that's been the biggest issue. Like Mike Tannenbaum at one point in time was a first-time GM. And he did a nice job. They went to the playoffs with two different coaches with Mike. He had a winning record. Rex Ryan was a first-time head coach when he was hired. But the difference was Tannenbaum was already experienced. You have a guy coming in at GM who's never done it, and a guy coming in at head coach who's never done it. So we'll see. I mean, I wish I could guarantee you it's going to work, but I don't know. All I know is last time the Jets hired a head coach, they got the number one head coach there in the hiring cycle. He turned out to not be good. He was 20 and 36. The last time the Jets needed to hire a GM, you couldn't find anyone to say something bad about Joe Douglas. He was ready for this. He's going to be the best. He's ready for everything. He had 6 years, and while he obviously made some good moves, it wasn't good enough. He was 30 and 64. You had to just hit on the hires. And we'll find out. If I had to bet my life, is this going to work? I mean, I'm a Jet fan, so what do you think I'll say? But you can't think that way. I would say Noah is probably one of our younger listeners, even though he's in college. So I think we should check in with someone who was old enough to see what it was like for the New York Jets to win a championship. He also still moves well enough to do this. Hello, Neil.
Are we ready? I want to say this to you. If Gator's on the chat, or he's going to hear about this, but I'm about to debut the new song for the new GM, Mr. Mougey. Let's go. Ready? You hear that? All right.
Oh, my God.
It's coming now. It's coming. 1 second. Here it comes. It's coming.
What is coming?
What? Mougey. Mougey. Right now, baby. Mougey.
Oh, my God.
Mougey. Watch it now. Here comes Aaron Glenn. Mougey. All right, that's it. Well, what'd you think? Am I still there?
Yeah, the crowd was booing you, Neil. Any response?
Are you kidding me? That's a great song. Mougey. It's got a little ring to it. I think it's got a little ring to it.
Hey, I like it. I hope this guy is a phenomenal general manager.
Well, let's put it this way. I just listened to Connor Rogers and the guy Caparoso.
Yeah.
And our guy that's on Mondays. What's his name? The
Will.
big guy. Will Parkinson. These are three guys that really understand the GM thing. This is all kind of like just a bunch of names for us in a pile, And these guys obviously did their homework. 5 until now. Anyway, I think that what they said was this guy Mougey, he was involved in the scouting and drafting of a lot of the players on Denver. he added the fact that if you look at the depth, Jake, of our roster, he said that, Denver has third, fourth, fifth round picks that are playing an integral role in the team right now.
They do.
And now we have, if you look at our third, fourth, fifth round picks in the last couple of years, what are they doing? Huh? Cooking French fries?
Yeah, but
What
that
are they
doesn't mean
doing?
that's him. That's necessarily Mougey. Like Sean Payton has final say there, and
No,
George
I
Payton
get
is
it.
the
I
GM.
get it. But he's part of the process. You know what I'm saying? He's in the room.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and the same thing. And they said that their feeling was, which is pretty interesting, is that really Aaron Glenn, he could the common sense, easy thing for Aaron Glenn to do would be to hire his friend out of Detroit. And that would have been a very predictable thing to do because he gets along with the guy and everything else. They felt it was a plus, not only for who he picked, but the fact that he picked somebody that's a little different than him, Jake.
Yeah, I
think
like
that's the
that.
best. You know what I mean? This guy's not going to agree with everything Aaron Glenn says, and Aaron Glenn's not going to yes man him on everything that he says. So I think it's going to be a little, and plus there's two different teams involved. They have a lot better, they could bounce things off of each other. But these guys tend to think that Aaron Glenn is going to play a role for the Jets that Vrabel's going to be playing for the Patriots. They think that he's the face of the franchise.
He is.
And he has
He
a
is.
lot to say.
They hired him
Yeah,
first.
I mean-
They wanted him. And they also, had him sit in on these interviews. I mean, it's Pete Carroll when he was with the Seahawks. It's Shanahan with the Niners. It's Andy Reid with the Chiefs. It's, certain organizations, the coach has more power than the GM. I mean, Jacksonville given Liam Cohen all this power. He's been an offensive coordinator in the NFL for a year. So you're starting to see more teams give power to the coach over the GM because the coach, let's be real, the coach is more important than the GM.
Absolutely. And look, you hear these things from Aaron Glenn, the violence, that's the whole premise of Dan Campbell's team. When he said we're going to go and what did he say in this first press conference? We're going to break bones and all this stuff. Remember he said that?
Yeah.
We're going to break kneecaps. Aaron Glenn, let me say this to you. We don't know what to expect, but I guarantee you, without a doubt in my mind, that after this press conference Monday, guys are going to be juiced up to get the season started. Aaron Glenn is going to juice up this fan base, Jake. I really believe that. Don't you believe that? I think he's going to juice everybody up. He is. He's going to get everybody juiced up. Look, we're
He
all
will,
negative.
but what does that mean, Neil? I've been juiced up before.
I get it. It's another win.
I've been bricked up, all
us.
right? I'm tired of it. I want to win. I'm tired of it.
I know.
I'm done. I'm done with the press conference. As long as Aaron Glenn does an Adam Gase's opening press conference, I think Jet fans will be excited. I'm tired of being excited in the offseason. Win fucking games. Excuse my language, but it's after hours
Jake,
now. I'm tired of
it. Dude, I get it. I know you're grouchy. You did 5 hours of radio.
That's part of it too.
Did you eat dinner at least? Did you
No,
get a nice dinner?
I'm hangry. The Jets pissed me off.
Holy
all right?
shit.
Mikey
When's the last
Midnight's
time you ate a
audio
meal?
wasn't
Did you eat
working,
dinner?
and I wanted to hear from him. Everything sucks, Neil.
Go ahead. Push it down, buddy. Hey, let me ask you. Did you have anything to eat today or what? What did you eat like for dinner? I just got off of dinner. You can't believe. I had asabuco. I had gnocchis with meat sauce with my wife. Nice glass, nice drink. I had dessert. I had coffee. And then I had a Napoleon dessert that would knock your socks off at this place called Davenport over here in Mineola. Jake, I had a meal that could knock your socks off. So what was your dinner? Let me hear that. What?
Neil, let me tell you about
Chipotle on the run? What did you do? Eat it with the fork on the way to the screen? What did you do?
These goddamn exploding cigars. I gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
Neil, I love you. No, I haven't had dinner, to be honest. I had a bacon, egg, and cheese today, and that was it. I've been working all day. I did a show, 2 hours on YouTube, 4 hours on radio, and we're 40 minutes in here. I'll eat after. All right. All super chats will go to my meal fund. Jet It Out says, Jake, late on a Saturday. Love it. Well, we got breaking news. And for anyone who saw the first show tonight, I predicted this exact thing. This always happens, man. The only thing I was shocked about is it didn't happen last night when I got done with like a 3-hour show. I was like, there's no way they're not going to hire it right after. And they didn't. And then they waited till I was on 4 to 8 today to do it. And for those saying, I'm sure a lot of people maybe are new to the channel. This goes back years, right? When the Jets traded for Aaron Rodgers, it was at like 2:50. My radio show in Houston started at 3 local time. So I didn't even get to do a Rodgers reaction after I was covering it for, it was like months, hours at a time. Hassan Reddick got traded as I was getting ready to fly back to New York after 6 years in Houston. Did that show from the airport for 45 minutes. There's other examples too, but I knew this would happen. So here we are. Just embrace it. Nate says it's Mougey. I trust Nate. Nate's takes are usually accurate unless they're about baseball. So this is not baseball related. So we'll go with Nate's pronunciation. From now on, the Jets GM is now Darren Mougey until someone tells me otherwise. It's no longer Mougey. It's Mougey. Damian says, Jets trading for Hendon Hooker. Thoughts? Damian, while I appreciate the super chat, I'm sorry, but you leave me with no choice. No, I don't want Hendon Hooker. You know who should be the quarterback of the New York Jets? Aaron Rodgers should be the quarterback of the New York Jets in 2025 because you're not finding a better option. Rodgers at quarterback, and if it's not him, I guess Tyrod, and then I would try and draft someone day 2. Or maybe if there's someone they love, trade back into the end of the first round. Here's why Aaron Rodgers should be the quarterback. Because remember how bad it was before he was here. And just think, if Aaron Glenn's as good of a coach as so many of you think he is, and I hope you're right, why can't, with Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback, Aaron Glenn and Rodgers give us a 2006 Jet season with Mangini and Pennington? That Jet team had no expectations. Nobody thought they were going to be any good. Chad was healthy, comeback player of the year. It was one of my favorite years as a Jet fan. Mangini was the man genius. He has a cameo on The Sopranos. That year was so great. Why can't the Jets do that? Why the Chargers just did it? The Chargers just had an 06 Jet season. Literally, disaster with Staley. Harbaugh comes in, cleans it up. They make the playoffs. Why can't the Jets do that next year? Aaron Rodgers should be the quarterback. Now, I have stipulations. I think he has to take a pay cut, which I believe he would. It means you get Devontae back too, by the way. That's how they'd sell it. Hey, he takes less, so Devontae's here. Great, I'm in. I think Aaron Rodgers has to be open to learn in a new offense, which I think he would. You mean to tell me if they hired Nick Caley, he'd be like, I'm good? I don't think so. I think Aaron still has a lot to prove. I don't think he wants to go out as bad as this was. Him and Aaron Glenn hit it off. I think he should be the quarterback. And if you don't want Aaron back, that's fine. But tell me what your plan is. All right? Because I love that people say, get rid of Rodgers. And then I say, okay, and do what? And you have no answer for me. Don't tell me about taking Jalen Milroe 7th overall or Jackson Dart 7th overall. That's not a plan. So tell me what the plan is. Because I still maintain that Aaron Rodgers is this team's best chance to have a season next year. And of those saying, this is what also drives me crazy. Oh, no, if you bring Rodgers back, they're going to win too many games and not going to be able to get our quarterback in 2026. You know how big of a disgrace that theory is? First off, the tanking thing, you have any faith in the Jets to tank, right? And second off, what do you think this fan base is going to do if this team is in the middle of winning 3 games next year with a first-year coach and first-year GM? You think this fan base, after missing the playoffs 14 years and counting, is going to be patient? See, I'll give the Jet fan credit. We were patient with Joe Douglas. We were very patient with Joe Douglas. There are still JD truthers out there in this chat right now. He got 6 years, 30-64. We were patient. We sat through a rebuild. He missed on every big decision. Coach, quarterback twice, left tackle. No, they're not getting that grace period. There's talent on this team. Go win games. I can't. Tanking. As if there's any guarantee they're going to get their quarterback in 2026. How do we know? Last I checked, the Buffalo Bills made the playoffs with Sean McDermott in his first year. Defensive coach. Took over for another defensive coach in Rex Ryan. Made the playoffs, ended a 17-year playoff drought. Longest in the NFL. Made the playoffs. And then they traded up for Josh Allen that offseason. Jets can't do that? I mean, the 2008 Jets finished 9-7 after Favre got hurt and collapsed. They traded up to number 5 to get Sanchez. Mougey can't get his quarterback in 2026 if he wins games and trades up. Like, why is the only way to getting a quarterback to suck? Did Kansas City do that? No, they traded up for Mahomes. Like, I think it's important for Aaron Glenn to win games in his first year. I don't think he could afford a 4-13 year. This fan base wants to believe. Win games, man. There's talent here. I keep going back to this. It's not like the Jets are getting blown out this past year. They're in every game. They have the lead in the fourth quarter in most of their losses this year. You can't do that if you suck. You know what I mean? Like, they suck because they were poorly coached. They didn't suck because they didn't have talent. Like, the 2020 Jets, look at the point differential. They got blown out all the time. Saleh's first year where they won 4 games, right? Only one more win than they won this past year with 5. They're getting blown out. How many games did the Jets lose this year because Greg Zuerlein sucked or the defense had the lead late and they collapsed? Obviously, Rodgers wasn't perfect. I was at the game in London where he threw the 3 picks and was terrible. All right, so I'm not sitting here saying Aaron Rodgers is a god. He can't do any wrong. He had games where he didn't play well. He's also coming off an Achilles and was banged up. And I would hope, at least on paper next year, the line should be pretty good. Get a real O-line coach, and you got 4 of your 5 starters in place already. You have a legit left tackle, a legit left guard, a legit center, a legit right guard. ABT, I think, will be better a year removed from his Achilles, too. Why can't the Jets do what the Colts did with Phillip Rivers, for example? Right? Remember Phillip Rivers was there? He was a bridge quarterback for a year. They won 11 games, made the playoffs. We're just going to piss away a playoff season so we can tank for a quarterback? F that, if that's your philosophy. Get out. I don't want to hear it. I don't have patience for it. Leave. Win games. It's the NFL, man. This fan base deserves it. Luppy, super chat, cuts the line. Put on some Gator video and DoorDash some Chipotle on me. Luppy, I love you, man, but you can't order from Chipotle. They skimp you on the ingredients. They're the worst. You Grubhub, Uber Eats, any of it, they rip your ass off. But I appreciate Luppy. Jet it out. Would love Pennington on this coaching staff. I don't think he would leave Kentucky where he's based because his kid is the quarterback in high school and he's one of the coaches. He might be the head coach, actually. I got to ask my guy Liam from Custom Bourbon Tours. He knows Chad well. JV says AG equals leader of men, but can't handle AR. Nonsense. I mean, this is not the first time that Aaron Rodgers would be working with a first-time head coach. Matt LaFleur was a first-timer, too. They won 13 games his first year there. Sam says, Aaron, come back, draft Dylan Gabriel to sit. I don't know where Gabriel's projected to go, but like that's a plan. I'm okay with hey, take someone that sits, and you tell Aaron straight up, if we're out of it, we're going to play the kid. Like, that should be a no-brainer. Mercy, keep Aaron, restructure key people, draft smart, make smart moves in free agency. Jets win 9 to 10 games. I hope. I'd feel better about them being able to win that many games if they didn't have a first-time head coach and GM. You just never know. You told me Mike McCarthy's the coach. I could see it. Why not? Mike McCarthy always wins 10 games when his quarterback's healthy. Go look. Mike says, Jake, thanks for going live on radio so the signing could officially happen. It's amazing, right? Gator writes in, Jets went from having the most exciting team in the league approaching the fall of 2023 to who's the GM? Never heard of him. Tyrod at quarterback, another first-time coach, a coordinator, puke. Look, I think if Aaron's the quarterback, there's at least a little more excitement, hope. People will say, he stinks. It's like, he threw 28 touchdowns last year, man. It wasn't perfect, but he's still their best option. Also, if you move on from Aaron, who's playing receiver next year? Garrett and then who? By the way, I've been doing the show. Has Garrett been extended yet by Mougey? Do we know if Garrett's been extended yet? I'm still waiting for that one. I mean, that to me should be, on a serious note, one of his first moves. Like that to me is without question a no-brainer. Let's check in with Paul. He's next on our show tonight. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Jake. As far as Mougey and Glenn, it's funny. Glenn was not my first choice. I like Glenn, obviously. He was an ex-Jet, all that great stuff. But I wanted an experienced guy just like you did. I was baffled by them not going out and interviewing McCarthy and others, but we have Glenn, we have Mougey. You just got to buy in and hope that they make the right decisions. But it's interesting because I'm shocked. Like I watched the Joe Douglas apologists, and it's mind boggling to me. Like the guy had a 36% winning percentage over 5+ years, and everyone wants to blame the organization and Woody. Woody started meddling this year. He did not meddle the first 4 or 5 years of him being in that job. He missed on head coach. He missed on quarterback. He missed on left tackle. He did not build an offensive line until really this year. I mean, how many bad wide receiver picks did he make? The guy doesn't even deserve a conversation anymore. So, like, for me, it's like we have no idea if Mougey's going to be any good. He comes from at least a good background. And it's interesting because you were talking about Rodgers, and I was thinking about it. With Mougey was in Denver when they made the decision for the Russell Wilson, but he was also there when they were trying to make the move with Hackett to get Rodgers to come over. So I'm assuming, I mean, this is maybe a leap of faith, but there's a possibility that he may be one of those guys who believes Rodgers would be the right guy to at least guide the ship for the next year, maybe two. So I think it'd be interesting. I know they're going to bring it up in the press conference on Monday. I doubt you're going to hear anything other than coach speak, and they're going to keep it in general. I'd be shocked, right? But like you hear the narrative that's like, well, he wants to establish his culture. Aaron's the biggest voice in the room and everything that comes along with Aaron. But like the guys on the team want him back.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. Like the narrative in the media versus what actually happens within the team, aside from, I think, what's his name? Greg Jennings. And, I think there's maybe one other ex-player. Most of the guys that played with him had nothing but positive things to say about the guy.
Yeah. I mean, I was listening to Clay Matthews on Dan Patrick's show talk about it. So,
but like he said, I think it was early on in the season. Like if you actually look back at Rodgers in this year, early on in this year, he was talking about playing multiple years. He was not saying definitely did not make this like this was going to be his last year.
No, what happened was, though, I think it's calculated. He, for some pride, ego, whatever, he wants to be like, I don't know if I'm playing because the Jets might say we don't want you, and I think the competitor in him is like, I'm not like you can't fire me, I quit, that type of thing. Like I came here to play with Salo and Douglas, and they're both gone, so now I got to think about it. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. But I truly believe if Darren Mougey and Aaron Glenn, they meet with Aaron Rodgers and say, Rodgers, we want you to be back. Here's what it will take to make that happen. I think Aaron does want to be here. I think he wants to keep playing, and I do believe his first choice would be the Jets in that scenario.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about I asked Jason over the cap. I'm like, everyone keeps talking about this $63 million cap hit. If you keep him next year in 26, but like in a perfect scenario, like everybody's assuming he's going to get paid $37 million this year. He's not. He's going to take a pay cut. There's no way he's not taking a pay cut. So I asked him, I was like, very simple. If he did a 2-year, $35 million deal, and I realized 2 years, but just hear me out. Say you go 9-8 and he plays well, you probably would bring him back for the next year. If you draft a kid like McCord or Howard, one of those guys that learn under him and spend a year, even maybe 2 years under him, your dead cap in 27 is $21 million in that scenario. It's nothing. So like we're all jumping to this 26 dead cap is going to be a disaster if you keep him, but nobody even knows what he's willing to accept to play. So for me, it's just like, let's let those guys get in a room and figure out if they can actually move forward together and what the parameters would be for a contract that's acceptable for the new GM and the team, and then develop a guy under him and win some games. It just doesn't make sense why you wouldn't do that.
I agree. Look, if Aaron doesn't want to play or he's not open, then like, okay, then you move on. But like the idea they should just move on. It's like, okay, so what's your plan at quarterback? Tyrod Taylor for 6 games till he gets hurt, and then what? So, Aaron's not perfect. He's not what he was. We understand that, but he still is capable, I think, with the defense being better, the kicking game being fixed, giving this team a chance to at least be competitive next year and not just throw away a season for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way, in my mind, I could be wrong, he's 5 touchdowns away from Brett Favre. he is not retiring at that. There's just no way. Brett Favre treated him like crap when he got drafted.
I don't know if it's that though. I think it was important for him to get to 500. I don't know if he cares about the touchdown number. Like, let's be real. No one knows. Like, football is not like baseball with like home run records where everyone knows like what each number means. I don't think that motivates Aaron. I think what motivates him is that he doesn't want to go out on a team that was 5-12. He thinks he's still capable of playing on a team that could be good, which I think he could if the right circumstance presented itself, which could happen with the Jets. It's not crazy to think that.
Yeah, I mean, to your point earlier, if they win the Indy game, if they win the New England game, and they win the Miami game, they would have finished the year 8-9. Everybody getting rid of Rodgers then? Like, everybody's ready to throw him out of here if they would have won 3 games because their defense would have held? Would they be running him out of town right now? It's just, the narrative's insane. It's just insane.
I agree. Paul, keep fighting the good fight.
Always.
Oh, man. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Gift the membership to be in the raffle. Let's say hello to Mikey Midnight. Mikey, can I hear you? No. Mikey, just give us a little dance move, all right? A little yeah. New Jets regime. All right. Yeah. All right, let's find out. Who do we think danced better? Ready? Do we think Mikey, who just gave us a little dance move there, or hold on, I have this somewhere, or his brother Bobby? I don't know. It's close. Both are excellent. I know what we need right now. We need the lane train.
Hi, how are you? Bruce Hall. That's good. Hello, Jake.
Hey, Lane, how are you?
I'm good. I was just very busy earlier. That's why I couldn't really call in.
You were busy earlier doing what, Lane?
Well, because I've been taking this medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have had this coughing like fit now, but yeah, I guess I'm okay. So yeah, I did hear about Daniel Moody that they signed, and they also have Aaron Glenn. So I had no idea that the Jets would have signed him. Now, how do you feel?
Lane, how about the Jets hiring the first ever female GM ever, Daniel Mougey?
Yeah, I know. How do you feel that they hired Moody?
Look, I hope she makes some great picks. You know, a lot of pressure on her.
It's funny you said that. I don't remember them ever hiring a female GM. It's rare.
Yeah, it's never happened before. She's the first.
Yeah, I mean, I could see like in baseball and stuff, they had ball girls, but not a GM.
Yeah, well, you know, I think she's qualified and she's going to do a great job. At least I hope, you know.
Yeah. Now, who do you like? If okay, like let's say if the Jets don't bring back Aaron Rodgers, then who do you put in place?
Probably Tyrod Taylor, and then a rookie I draft behind him.
Yeah, I was watching the Mets thing on my phone today. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Like 20-hour thing with all the even David Wright. Like I'm talking.
Yeah, that looked like it was a good fan fest today.
Yeah, and how about the uniforms? Do you like them or not?
They're okay. Not my favorite.
Oh, they look like fake pajamas, believe it or not. They're all blue.
Yeah, I do see that.
You know what I don't like about it though? There's no buttons.
Yeah, I'm a button guy too.
When you got to pull it over your head. It looks like a windbreaker.
Yeah, good point. You're a button guy, Lane?
Yeah. I like buttons. At least put on some buttons on the uniforms. They look uncomfortably warm. Please tell me those are not the uniforms they're gonna wear on the road.
I'm not sure. I think sometimes they'll wear it.
Yeah, I mean maybe on certain days, but I like the gray. You know, the gray and the ultimate black uniform. But yeah, so anyway, so sticking with the Jets right now, I would take in the second round of the draft would be probably Knoble.
Do you think he's going to be there?
Yes. And I like the Moji Moji song.
Sing it, Lane. Sing
Okay.
it.
Dun, 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 dun. Watch it now. Dun, mole, mole, mole. Mole, mole. Mole, mole. Mole, mole. Come on, watch it out. Dun, 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 dun. You got it. You got it. Dun, 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 dun. Watch it now. Watch it now. 7. Want to learn to dance, mole, mole. Hey, mole, mole. Mole, mole. Mole, mole. Mole, mole. That was good. Hi. Sorry, everybody. See you next call when we talk about sports again.
Lane, excellent job. Great call. Jets hiring the first ever female general manager in league history. God bless the Lane train.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see. Sometimes when I have a few drinks, I slip and fall and break my face. Not that my vision was bad enough. Now I have this dull shit scar.
Hi, Jake.
David, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. Always on the Lane train.
All aboard, baby.
Yeah, he's such a good guy. And I'm losing my train of thought here. No. You're a hard worker and a brown bagger, and thank you for the Saturday night show.
You can thank the Jets for deciding to hire a general manager.
Yeah, you know what? It's same old Jets, right?
Yeah, well, hopefully this time it's some wins that come with it. That'd be nice.
Yeah. So to close it off, we've been burnt, in the past few years, and I guess we have to rally behind, the new regime. But is the word do it with apprehension?
I would say cautious optimism. You want to give them a chance. There's things to like about both guys they hired. So
cautious optimism. All right. Thank you for correcting me.
That works for you?
That works for me.
All right. Now, David, before you go, what's the latest with the fireball situation? You still ripping fireball shots?
You know what? Actually, tonight, Saturday night, I was ripping fireball and drinking a few beers.
I love that.
So,
David, you're the man.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, David T.
I got my Iron UG. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see. But if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Legend. David T. Hit the like button for David T. Hit the David T emoji. Gift the membership if you want in on the raffle. You're running out of shows to be eligible. Signed Garrett Wilson jersey. Signed Klecko jersey. Signed Aaron Glenn card. Signed Brees Hall card. Replica 3 Super Bowl 3 ring. CJ Mosley card. It's all here. Yes. We have some very important housekeeping to attend to. I hate to have to do this because this is someone that I think has been watching the show a while. I certainly have seen his name pop up a lot lately. He had a take the other day that was probably one of the worst of all time, that Aaron Glenn is a better player than Darrelle Revis, and Aaron Glenn should be in the Hall of Fame over Darrelle. Gary writes in, this is Gary Klessler. God, this show's becoming unwatchable. Well, don't worry, Gary, because you don't have to watch it anymore. Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs. Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the Sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the Lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it. Now, to be fair to Gary, he can still watch the show. He just can't comment for 24 hours, which is fine. We don't need more Aaron Glenn better than Revis takes. I mean, come on, man. Luppy, 5 memberships. The Lup Man delivered. Sound the alarm. My alarm's not sounding. What is this? Did you guys hear alarms there? It wasn't working for me. Hold on. There it is. All right, let's see who got memberships from Luppy again. Luppy, I got you down for another 5 in our raffle, which is either going to be, I think it's Tuesday. It might be Monday. We'll see what happens with the Glenn press conference. James Madden, Chris Kern, Jedi Knight of the 13th Order of Gotham, and Sir Luca all receiving a channel membership. Excellent. Let's check back in with Mikey Midnight. Mikey, are you there? How's it going, Mikey? I can't hear you. No sound. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to play music for you, and you just dance to it, all right? That we could do. Here we go. Let's go, baby. Mikey Midnight. Yeah. Great job, Mikey. You killed it, man. We can't even hear you, and you're still making your presence felt. I'm telling you, man. Mikey Midnight making a run in Asmaniac Madness this March. It's happening. Give it up for Mikey. We got to get a Mikey emoji set. All right. That was tremendous. Cincy Matt with a super chat. Gary 3D greater than Gary 2D. It's true. I never thought we'd find someone with a crazier take than Gary, but Gary 2D, crazier takes. J Grape says, Mikey coming for the #1 January caller. I still think Gary actually has the inside track, but I don't make the list, so that's up for the committee. But yeah, Mikey's making a run. Sean says, is that really Bobby's brother? Yeah. Hell yeah, it is. Lane says, can Bobby call in? If he calls in, I'll put him on, but he's not on hold. More of your calls right now. Let's say hi to Nate, who's next. Hey, Nate.
Long time no speak. How you been?
Nate, I'm hanging in. What do you think of the GM hire?
I'm thrilled. I'm an optimistic Jets fan, and I don't know Jack like anyone else. So we got to be excited, right? He'll probably fail, and then we'll be on the same boat in 3 or 4 years from now. My first thought, Jake, when I saw he was coming from the Broncos, right, was like it still doesn't steer me in either Aaron Rodgers' direction, like whether he's coming back or not. Like if Woody has his hand in this, or even if he presented a plan to Woody and the 33rd team and the whole squad, that because they had 53 million dead cap this year. He's worked with a quarterback with a lot of dead cap that has to be spread out. I think they owe even more this year on Russell Wilson too. But he was part of a team that built a playoff roster with a rookie QB, no first round draft picks for 2 or 3 years. They built with a lot of depth clearly on day 2 and day 3 picks. Like it doesn't steer me in any direction. He could have easily presented a plan like, yeah, we can work with Rodgers. Glenn and him might want to win next year. I still think that's the best idea, is trying to win with the best quarterback. And maybe he's a good GM. And I know it's hard to imagine, but like, Jake, would you rather have a top 5 pick with a bottom 5 GM or a bottom 5 pick in the first round with a top 5 GM?
No, clearly you take the best GM every time.
Right. So it really doesn't matter what pick we have, whether like they didn't have multiple first round draft picks. And another thing that's guaranteed that he learned, right? We don't know anything about him. I don't know anything about him. But he does know that coaching is paramount in the NFL if you're trying to win as a team. He was part of the team that brought in Nathaniel Hackett, right? Even though sources say he wanted his former college roommate, who was Kevin O'Connell, right? Obviously, he's a college roommate thing, but he was a KOC guy, and then they brought in Hackett. They had a stacked roster. They spent all the money they could. They went all in like us, and they were like the Jets before the Jets. They failed. So I don't know. It could go either way, but and then this year they go rookie QB, they get rid of Chubb, they get rid of Judy, everyone's thinking they're tanking and they make the playoffs. So I don't know. This could pivot in a lot of directions, but it really just I was thinking I could look into the GM hiring and we'll know more about Rodgers, but I still think we don't know what's coming back. We don't even know if Rodgers want backs. Nobody knows anything. I mean, that's like should be the title of all of these shows. So like no one knows anything. But I mean, Gary's gonna love the pick. The guy clearly doesn't consume donuts all day long. And it based on like the 2 interviews I saw, and that's where I saw the GM and like the Broncos people, they all introduced him as Mougey and they call him Mouge. So we're gonna call him Mouge from now on. That's the nickname. As long as he's good.
Darren
Otherwise,
Mougey.
Mouge, my guy Mouge all day long. So I don't know. We gotta be he's 39 years old. And also, Jake, if you look at Mougey's resume, right? There's 15 guys in the league with this resume. So the Jets are just straight up morons, or maybe they have some information that we don't have. That he was a part of a lot of positive moves that they made and helped them pivot out of the Russell Wilson era.
I mean, Sean Payton's obviously signs off on it, and Glenn does because Glenn could talk to Sean Payton. They're I mean, you never know. You make good points though. I like I like the optimism on this.
And I also that Glenn doesn't. They didn't cross paths, but he interviewed Aaron Glenn when they were going for Hackett as well. So
correct.
He knows at least what Glenn is about in an interview. Like he wasn't there for the interview process, but he was a couple of years ago, and he knows like at least they've met. He knows the style of football. He knows what he wants to bring to a team. But I mean, I don't know. I'm also excited to see Glenn. So I think anyone is more excited to not see a 4-man front every time. We're gonna have a defense that stops the run. Like Glenn is. He's like a Rex Ryan type. He'll stop the run over anything, and he'll leave 2 guys on islands, and he'll get burned. Clearly, he will. The other thing I'm excited about, this is Aaron Glenn's best defense, right, Jake? Has he ever had a more talented defense as a coordinator?
Yeah, probably not.
Can you name me 5 Lion starters? Can you name me multiple Pro Bowlers on their defense?
They do have some very good players, though, to be fair.
I'm not saying they don't, but the Jets were built on defense. We went 7-10 with Zach Wilson because we had the shit.
Look, I think Aaron Glenn will fix the defense. I'm not worried about that.
Like that's a great thing to come in. We got 2 stud D linemen, maybe 3 with a bending on Achilles. We got 2 stud linebackers pending Sherbert comes back. We got at least 2 stud corners. Like not every coaching option has 6 former Pro Bowlers or future Pro Bowlers on the team. Like these are legit football players, and now it's not the same formation, the same fucking cover 3, sorry my language, every single time. It was torturous to watch. 5 guys on the line of scrimmage and like a 4th and goal situation. Just he's gonna. I mean, he seems like a good competitor. So, I mean,
I like Aaron Glenn. I'm rooting for it to work. I'm just, I was so gung ho these last couple of years and was burnt for it, and I'm tired of it. So I want them to win games, win me over. Like I'm rooting for them. I'm not anti Mougey. I'm not anti-Glenn. It wasn't my first choice for either.
Were you a McCown guy, Jake? You were a McCown guy, right?
I mean, I liked the idea of McCown. I would need to know his staff, though. Like, if you told me Doug Peterson was his offensive coordinator and they had like a really good DC, yeah, I think Josh McCown had a chance to be a really good head coach. Would be a year early on McCown rather than a year late.
True. No, and I feel like we obviously didn't make the McCown move, but I feel like we made the McCown move in the front office a little bit. Like this is the McCown swing. This is the guy coming up out of nowhere where it's like, does he really deserve? Like 5 years ago, he was driving around in the car being a scout, and now he just kind of quickly excelled up the Broncos, where he clearly has the trust of Patton. He speaks very highly of him. He was at every press conference that Patton does. He's his right hand man. He's there speaking as well. So it's like he accelerated the GM ranks pretty quick. But this is our McCown move. Like it's probably gonna fail, right? But I'd rather have a guy that if it works out, he's staying. He's our just like if Glenn works out, he's our Tomlin. I like to swing for the fences rather than a. I
mean, I will say this: I like him better than Lance Newmark, and I also
convincing myself.
Everything you're saying is fair. I also like the fact that Glenn and Mougey didn't work together, right? So this is like references. They know the same people. Like I like that. Like I never understood. Oh, you got to bring in someone that Glenn has worked. Like why? Like if Aaron Glenn is such a great coach, he could work with someone he's never met before. Football is a small industry. They could figure it out. Like I've been paired up with talk show hosts to do shows. I've never worked with them before, but we could figure it out and still do a good show. Like there's ways that, you know what I mean? There's ways to do it. I like it. I am just not going to be ecstatic and fanboying because I don't want to do that. I've done that the last 2 years, defended this team every step of the way on every national outlet I've been on, locally, and they have sucked, and I'm tired of it. So win games, and I will be the biggest Jet fan like I always am, like everyone who's watching this on a Saturday night right now who cares about this team in January.
Yeah, we're all psychos. You remember the Broncos game vividly. Like you watch all these games multiple times, I'm sure. The Broncos, we got whipped. Offensive line, defensive line, we got whipped at the line of scrimmage. Like they had a very, and I can't name any of their defensive linemen besides JFM and that really good interior guy they have. I'm blanking on now. But and offensive line too, Jake, they have 0 first-round draft picks on their defensive line. And again, they had no first-round draft picks for 2 or 3 years and built a better defensive line. You look at the Jets defensive line, it's first-round pick, second-round pick. And we couldn't stop the run all year long. And same with the offensive line. Interior, that guy Miners, like one of the best guards in the league, got him in the 3rd round. They got their center Wattenberg in like the 5th round. Imagine we got centers and starting guards in the 3rd and 5th round, how much more flexible we'd be in free agency and the draft and all that. And again, they built a playoff team without first-round picks. So again, I hope he's part of the positive moves, and Mougey, rocking everywhere.
Nate, good call. Look, all fair. The thing is, you just don't know what he's responsible for. Like, he saw it, doesn't mean he can replicate it, right? Joe Douglas was around Howie Roseman for a long time. It didn't translate. Robert Saleh was around Kyle Shanahan. It didn't translate. So you never know, but all fair points. And we're not in these interviews. We don't know what he's telling them. Maybe if the Jets give me Darren Mougey on the show, I'll fall in love with the guy. I hope that happens. Jets, I know you watch. Let me know. I'd be down to talk to, obviously, Glenn and Mougey. I'd like them both. Because I'm a Jet fan first. Like, I want to win. I'm just not going to be like, this is the greatest hire ever. Also, like, win games, man. Win games. When I said multiple times on postgame shows this year, this loss and this season has done irreparable damage to this fan base, I meant it. This is what that looks like. Because once again, it's 2 first-timers being hired to do jobs they've never done before. So you don't know how it's going to go. And even if they hired experienced guys, obviously that, doesn't guarantee anything, but I felt like it gave you a higher percentage chance to actually win games. So we'll see. Gary K writes in, Beast less airtime is working. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Beast Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he's gobble-goo.
Hello, Beast.
Pizza, my friend. I sent you a picture of that pizza.
It looks delicious. Hey. Hold it up to the camera. Give people a little feel for it.
This, my friends, is a New York-style deep dish bad boy made by a king. 3 different ways of doing it. Strip this pizza first. Take the bad sauce off and the bad cheese. Put a real man's cheese on. Little Romano, little provolone, little mozzarella, little shredded mozzarella. And if you have a little bit of that little Gagosione, throw that on there. And then, boom, there you go. A little bit of pepperoni, little sausage, little Italian seasoning. There you go. In the oven, 20 minutes. Boom. What does this look like? Oh, winner's winner, baby.
Oh, yeah. Chef Beast Breaker, baby. Looking good, man. You know all the tricks.
Hey, if you know how to work the oven, you leave that oven at 400 degrees. But for 20 minutes. Now, this Mookie guy, let me just say one thing about him. He better do this job right, or I'm going to come after him and give him a good swift kick, right in the ass for it, and tell him, we're not playing that here. Me and 50 other thousand New Yorkers are not going to listen to such crap. We're here to win. We're here to fight, bleed, kick, scratch, and also claw our way back up to the world title. And in order for us to get there, we're going to have to learn baby steps first, and we're going to learn to get the job done. We got the guys, but we just need to work on one thing before going to the Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, we learn the baby steps first, because 14 years of hell is bad move. We learn from baby steps. Start from here, then to there, and then to there. And once we get to the division title, then we start pounding them, busting some heads wide open. Fist first. Left hook, right cross, and also another hook right to the jaw. We will not be tolerated. We will not be discriminated. And we will not back down from any fight. Every team, hey, Don't sing it. Just bring it. This is our turf. This is our house.
Let's
New
go,
York
Beast.
is known for a lot of things.
Let's
Teenage
go.
Mutant Ninja Turtles, Madison Square Garden, and every other damn thing we've done here. So, hey, if you don't like it, hey, come to our house. We got the boots, but we know where to kick them. We're going to kick them right in your asses, one by one. Nothing said? Now, let's get funky and get the train rolling.
Yeah.
You know what time it is? A beast breaker, 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
It's well said. That looked like a tremendous slice of pizza there, Beast. Well done, sir. Well done. Chef Beastbreaker, everyone. Matthew C. has gifted 5 channel memberships. Matthew, thank you very much for your support of this wonderful program.
Show me the money.
Show me the money! Money.
Here we go. We got 5 names to read off. I'm the Jerk, Big Will 43, X Hit 710, Todd Hollingsworth, James Atcats, all receiving channel memberships. It's also 5 raffle entries for Matthew C. So I appreciate that. Any relation to Robert C, Matthew? NYJ says, wonder if AI Bonesy is happy with this GM pick. Yeah, Mr. Bonesy, if you're out there, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Mr. Mougey. Cincy Matt writes in, Beast watching his tape first show had me crying. That was an all-time moment. Beast, way to bring it. Kyle Clifton in the house. Beastbreaker knows nothing. American is the pizza cheese. Fishing for Banger says, ask Beast about Beasley. He's not a fan of Beasley. I don't want to get him going. He's not a Beasley guy. Nick Shine says, that slice looks harder than Nate is over the GM. Nate was loving up on some Mougey. I hope Nate's right. I hope he's awesome. All right, we had Douglas Truthers. We have our first Mougey Truther, Nate. Rick Kent says Beast's pizza looked like paper. I disagree, Rick. I thought it looked tremendous. All right. Honestly, I'm starving. I haven't had anything to eat since like 10 a.m. I could use some of Beastbreaker pizza right now. Dr. Frank Falcone says, Jake, we need a poll to ban Beast for at least 2 weeks. Because he made pizza? That seems a little harsh. More of your calls right now. Open phone lines if you want to join in. Last chance to do so. You're on a Saturday night soiree. There are, let's say, 514 people watching. Are there 514 of you that are subscribed to the show? Please do so. We hit 41,000 the other day. We're going for 42 now. Let's say hello to the Lup Man who's next. Hey, Luppy.
Hey, how you doing, Jake? It's been a while.
Yeah, Luppy. How are you?
Good. Listen, if Beastbreaker's pizza was so good, he would have been eating it while he was talking to you because you can't put down a good piece of pizza. You know what I mean? So,
you know what? It's fair, but he does have respect for the show. So you got to respect that.
You just get these people. I don't know where they come from. They're freaking. They just attracted to you, Jake.
No, you don't hear it. I pay them. They're all plants. According to some in the chat, I pay all these people.
I would believe it because they're hysterical. It's great. You know, every year it gets even better, Jake. Every year.
Thank you, Luppy. You're a big part of it too, man.
Thank you. Listen, it's not what we thought. You know, we thought we'd at least interview Gruden and Carthy and get somebody experienced in here because I feel like it. I know you feel it too. We have a team ready to win. We just need some good coaches, you know. So, and then the Aaron Glenn comes in. Okay, so negatives gone aside, I'm going to be on board. I'm hearing nothing but good things about Aaron Glenn. I'm hearing all positives. Yep. We're not winning the back pages, which is something different. Even though we go with the defensive coordinator for the first time, being the head coach, but we're not like back page people anymore. So that's the only difference I see in this. And I do see a lot of positive trends coming out from the people. I have no idea who Mooney is. I'm going to be 100% honest. I have no idea. But I'm going to be like you, Jake. Hopefully they get a good coaching staff together because that's really what it's about. I mean, look at Tomlin. We were all salivating if Tomlin was going to be there because coaching does matter in the NFL. And if we can get the right staff in there and we can get a good offensive coordinator, and I'm with everybody. If Aaron Rodgers really wants to play with us, I would keep him. And that's really what it's about. I mean, we really don't have the options out there right now. Even if we do move up or draft or quarterback or whatever, that's down the road. And we'll be there. I'll be there on that show too, Jake, you know, when you're doing the draft.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah. I love it with that. It's always a fun time. But, you know, I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be on board. Like you said, we don't have a choice as Jet fans. We are fans. So we're definitely going to be on board, and we're going to bring out that positive Jake again.
Wow.
Positive Jake again. And we're going to be positive about nothing but the Jets, and we're going to be on board. But I'd like to see what the coaching staff is. I'm not hearing anything. Are you hearing anything, Jake, about who their offensive coordinator is?
Not yet. It's the same names that we've talked about that have been reported on. We'll get some clarity, I'm sure, at the beginning of
I
next
heard
week.
about Westdorf though. Him trying to pick Westdorf.
Yeah, not as a full-time coach.
No,
as
I
someone-
know that guy's got a
advisor.
great mind.
Yeah, no,
He's got
Westhoff's
a
great.
mind. I love that guy. I mean, I wish he was physically able because he would be a tremendous part of any part of our staff. So listen, Jake, nothing but positive thoughts, positive Jake's here. Woo.
I love it. Now, Lumpy, let me ask you this: that
Yeah.
chair behind you, that looks tremendous. How comfortable is that?
It's awesome. It's got massage and everything on it too, as well.
Nice. Well, you know what?
That's my cat over there. She's sleeping on her.
You deserve it. I'm thrilled for you.
I think I'm
Let's
going
go.
to need another koozie after order. I wore through this one, I think.
I love it. Lumpy, you're the best, dude. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Jake.
The Lup man. Lumpy positive. It's funny. Lumpy resigned as a Jet fan after the Denver game. We've come a long way. He's like, I love your show, but I can't do it anymore. I'm done. I'm like, Lumpy, they're 2-2. Now that obviously that was the worst loss ever. I went nuts, but I was like, there's 2-2. Anyway. Great question here. Space Ghost 94. Joe's Pizza or John's on Bleecker? Yes. I mean, both are incredible. If you want to slice Joe's, because Bleecker just doesn't do slices, you got to do full pies. For a slice, I say Joe's, but if I'm just having one type of pizza, and that's it, I'm going John's on Bleecker. Big Fella says, seems like Butterball is learning. Nice call. How about that? Positive praise from Big Fella. Nate says, I'm excited for Mougey as I was Ulbrich. Let's go. Yeah, me too. The Jets officially have a new coach and GM. We can retire the coach brick that I used to motivate us before the Bills game. Didn't work. Man. Jeff Ulbrich. Gonna spark the team. Woody Johnson fought. It did not work. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Otherwise, I'm convinced you're a communist. Sorry, those are the rules. Lane Train writes in, moo, moo, moo. Lane, if you could call back in and give us that as a sound effect, that would be extremely helpful. So please do so if you're around. Let's say hello to Chris G, who's next. Hey, Chris.
How's it going, Jake?
What's up, Chris?
Nothing much, nothing much. The last few days and since I hired Glenn, I've felt a sense of pride to wear my Jet gear in public because I feel like he has a chance to pump some juice into this team and give us, some optimism and fix the culture. And as of the GM hire, as long as he doesn't trade away any of our young talent from the 2022 draft, I mean, I'll be fine if he hires a good staff because the goal is to change a culture, and building a culture happens with young, homegrown players.
I agree. If he trades Garrett Wilson, I will be furious. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Garrett Wilson should be extended. I think of the 2022 draft class, he's the only one that I'm dead set on offering an extension right away.
Why not Brees?
He's a running back, and he's going into his last year of his deal, and you have the franchise tag just in case. I don't think you need to do it yet.
Yeah, I think people who, are saying Brees had a bad year, that you cannot base, wanting them back or not on last year because it was such a bad year in terms of coaching. We need a new offensive line coach, and Brees will be having good years. I think run-first offense is the way to go next year for sure.
Yeah, look, whether Aaron's back or not, their inability to run the football at all was a huge disaster. Like, you'll keep Aaron healthier. You'll be more balanced. He'll be more efficient. Like, it's crazy to me how bad they were at running the football. They drafted 2 running backs. They had Brees Hall, and they couldn't run the football at all. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, it put us at a huge disadvantage. And I think Rodgers is not going to lay down and retire. I think he'll be back. And I think, like I said, with a run-first offense, improved offensive line, and another year removed off the Achilles, he can be back and definitely lead us to a wild card and be productive.
What do you think of this comment from Dan who says, how much to ban this kid? It's for his own good.
I love the show. So.
I think he means just you being a Jet fan. He's trying to save you.
And no matter how much we suck, I'll always be around. Always bleed green and white.
See, Chris is the type of kid that deserves some real football. When I was how old are you?
14.
Yeah, the Jets were going to the playoffs when I was a kid all the time, and you haven't seen any of that. So hopefully that changes for you soon, Chris.
Hopefully. I'm excited to be wearing my Asmaniac shirt in a week.
It's on its way. Don't worry.
I'm excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris G. Good call, Chris. I'm convinced Chris just plays video games all day and then watches this show. That's why he's always got the gamer headset on. Love that. Good call. Give it up for Chris. He's awesome. Tyler says, can we replace Jake with Beastbreaker for 2 weeks? All right. I'll see you.
Yo, I got something for everybody. What's this? This bad boy is a specialty that I bought years ago, and I'm proud to have this. You know why? Because every New Yorker should have something like this for the rest of their life until the day we go. No matter what anybody tells you, this is ours. This is our team. This is our future. This is all of us. Because no matter what anybody says, the New York Jets will be with me until the day we all go. And 100 years from now, when we look back at all these memories, they're all going to think of us as, what the hell? Like, hey, you look at this name, you think of Joe Namath. You think of Don Maynard, Art Snell. These are the guys that, paved the way for us to go like this. Ken O'Brien. You can even think of Al Toon, Rob Moore, Freeman McNeil. Oh, my God. Even the list of other names I could think of. I can't think of many of them, but when you have this logo, this is not just a logo. This is ours. This is our life. This is our future. And come 2025, I'm going to say this one time for everybody. We will succeed. And I mean we will succeed. Don't let the papers fool you. Don't let the society tell you what to think and what to feel. Think of yourselves. Be who you are. Up here. Do this right thing. Be who you are. Keep this in your heart and keep it alive. There's no matter.
Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he'd gobble-goo.
Great points by Beast. I'm back from my 2-week vacation. I mean, it looked like the show was a major success while I was gone. Beast, excellent job holding it down. Super chat from Space Ghost. Hats off to Chris, anyone who wants to be here. Yeah, I mean, if you're voluntarily being a Jet fan, you're that young, God bless. D. Stern says, has that brick been under your chair this whole time, or did you plant it there for the show, hoping you need it? No, it's been there the whole time. I got more props than Gallagher, all right? I got boomerangs. I got flags. What else? I have Hennessy bottles. I have trading cards. I have Super Bowl rings. I got jerseys. I got umbrellas. I got stickers. I got bottle openers. I got Circa notepads here. I got a lot of stuff. All right. Last chance to get in here. Last chance to get the membership as well. Let's say hello to Adam is too cool. What's up, Adam?
Hey, how's it going, Jake?
Hey, Adam. How are you?
Hey, so I was just thinking about how, history is always being written, right? And I don't know what kind of comedy errors could have happened. Otherwise, it would have helped us land Aaron Glenn. I'm pretty happy that we have him. I mean, he was a phenomenal player. I mean, you keep doing more research on him, you realize how much good mentorship he's been getting from everyone around. Yes, he's a new coach, but he's not like a 40-something or 30-something-year-old. He's 52, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so
and he's paid his dues. Like, no one could say that he, escaped, moved up the ladder. Like, he started from the bottom and truly worked his way up each level to get where he's at.
Yeah, 52 is not the same as 32. It's like, that's 20 more. And I just think this is a good sign. I like that. And then I don't know too much about the GM pick, but at least good background. For me, I'm just fascinated with the fact that he was a former QB with Kevin O'Connell, and then he changed to wide receiver. So he's got that offensive background as a player in college.
6'6". What are your thoughts on his height?
I mentioned this in the chat. We might have the largest differential in height between GM and head coach in the league, because I think, he's going to look enormous on the field. Like, it's going to be really wild to see pictures of him with the players, because he's going to be taller than everybody else. But I also think that's not what's going to define him, right? It's going to be the decisions that he makes. He's got some very difficult decisions to make with the cap. Some I think, are easier than others, and others are obviously it's complicated because you don't know what Rodgers' motivation is. Same with Devontae. But the more I think about it, the more I think about the stability. It's probably I think Rodgers and Devontae are gonna run it back, and that would be really good for a new head coach, a new GM, to have that stability, with wide receiver 1 and with QB, and just even if it's for a year. That's better than starting new, which is what we've done in other times. And that's not the wisest combination when we have a lot to work with, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I hope that they bring him back. Like, I want to win games, and someone tell me how they're going to win more games with Tyrod Taylor than they would with Aaron Rodgers. I don't believe it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they made the decisions ahead of the Senior Bowl, because I know that's happening now. It's good the GM's here. I hope that he'll go to the Senior Bowl and see what's out there. And are there any prospects that you think the Jets might want to either trade up for, or is there a kind of a wild card surprising pick that the Jets might make?
Well, it's
in the
quarterback.
first round?
I mean, we see this all the time where quarterbacks skyrocket up rankings. I mean, J.J. McCarthy somehow went into the top. What was he? 6? No, Giants were 6. What do you go? 7 or like it was crazy. Like, actually, no. It was 11. It was right after the Jets. But Penix went 8. Like you look. Do I think that's going to happen this year? No. But quarterbacks is always what you're watching. Who's going to get the hype and skyrocket up boards? That always happens.
Yeah. The other position that I am a little fascinated with is running back. I think Ashton Genty's, like, if it wasn't for Travis Hunter, like, Ashton would have probably gotten the Heisman when it was all said and done. The hype would have been around him. I mean, his stats are better than Reggie Bush's, and it's not like Reggie Bush necessarily had a phenomenal NFL career, but like the production and what Ashton Genty did, it really makes me wonder, like, would the GM be so bold as to pick Genty if he's there?
I hope not. They shouldn't take a running back that high. That'd be crazy.
It's interesting though, right? Because you look at the league, you have some balanced offenses with it's not the same build with Henry and Saquon, but if you do if he really is a home run hitter, it would be interesting to see how far he drops and who's willing to take the risk if he's a top 10 pick or whatnot. So I think keeping an eye on running back would be interesting. And also, I didn't really see what the next gen stats were on Brees, and I really hope that he returns back to his earlier form. But if he lost his speed, we got to really take a look at how we can use him better.
I think it'll be all right. A real coaching staff should be able to utilize Brees Hall. That to me is a no-brainer.
Yep. Anyway, I guess we'll see where things go, but I'm just kind of happy where we landed, because I think a year ago we would have a very different situation, even if we had made a change in GM and with head coach last year. I don't know if we would have had a better combination of coach and GM that we do now. So it's almost like would last year have been worth it if these two click? And I think I'm going to stay optimistic on that.
Time will tell, but I much rather would have had, knowing what we know about how Sal only got 5 games, he should have been fired last offseason, and Mike Vrabel would be coaching the team right now. That's how I feel. So
you think so? You think he wouldn't have pulled the Belichick and quit a year later?
No, I think he would have been the Jet coach, because they'd be playing maybe this weekend. Or they
very interesting.
In the playoffs. 100%.
Parallel universe.
Adam, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you have a resemblance to an arch nemesis of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Jets, Jets.
But unlike that scoundrel, you're very positive and nice about the Jets, seemingly. Just nice in general. So you're not related to Allen, are you?
I mean, I'd have to check on 23andMe. Anything is possible. That could be a fun reveal. But yeah, Allen, if you're listening, send me your deets. We can see how much DNA we share.
It feels like you could be like his younger brother, but like you're the opposite of Allen, because you're actually not a scoundrel. You're just a good guy, and you're positive about the Jets.
I'll tell you what. I mean, everyone's got the evil twin, right? So
Jets, Jets.
I mean, it really is amazing. The same glasses, pretty incredible.
You never know. I mean, everybody's cousin somewhere along the line, but yeah, Alan, if you're listening, looking forward to finding out what percentage we are. We're probably third cousins. All we know. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, Adam, great call, man. Call back anytime. Definitely call more than Alan. Mr. I retired, but can still chat away.
Jets, 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 Jets.
Oh, Alan.
Get in the hole.
That's where you belong. I don't even think Alan's in the chat right now, so he'll see this later. Oh, he really does look like Alan, though. It's pretty funny. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Australia Day, according to Craig in Australia. Happy Australia Day. I don't know what that means. Is it like what we have for July 4th, Independence Day, Craig? Give me the details. I don't know anything. I'm dumb. But I have my boomerang because I'm ready to support Craig in Australia at all times. Same with Sarah and soon to be Hawk. All right, last chance here. All right, we're almost 2 hours in. So I did 2 hours today on the first show, 4 on radio. So I'm bad at math, but that's 6. Nice little 8-hour day. Not too shabby, huh? I'm on 4 more hours tomorrow on radio, ESPN New York, after Rangers post. So probably like 4:15 till 8. So tune in. Download the ESPN New York app. You need the Asmaniacs to call in, man. Everyone's going to be watching the game. So put the game on and talk to me. Peter Castro says that could be Alan's grandson. You're not wrong. Swamp Ranger says Alan speaks with logic. No, Alan skews negative for the sake of being negative. He's not a dumb sports fan. He's a knowledgeable sports fan / caller, but he's playing the character. I respect it, even though he's a scoundrel. Luppy writes in, Craig, do you eat turkey or kangaroo on Australia Day? That's a good point. I don't know. What do you eat on Australia Day? Also, Luppy, why are we assuming it's turkey or kangaroo? Couldn't it be like a hot dog or a hamburger if it's like their July 4th? Craig says January 26th is when the English arrived to set up the prisons. Jay Grave says kangaroo jerky is delicious. Craig says pie and sausage rolls. I'm in on that. I honestly would eat anything right now. I'm so hungry. Jersey's from Australia as well. Dude, we got to have the biggest Jet following in Australia, right? There's just no way. Maybe the biggest NFL following in Australia. Lamb chops on the barbecue. I'm in. Taylor, Allen pulling for the Bills tomorrow. Yeah, just like he was pulling for the Lions. How'd that work, Mr. Lion? Hopefully the same thing happens to Buffalo tomorrow. By the way, I'll repeat this again. If you're a Jet fan rooting for the Bills, shame on you. The one thing the Jets have over the Bills is the Jets have won a Super Bowl. Buffalo is not. Don't risk that. I get it. You hate the Chiefs. I don't love them either. But for one more week, we could root for the Chiefs to beat the Bills and then root for, I hope the Commanders win, but whoever comes out of the NFC. And if it's the Eagles and you don't like Philly, I get it. But think about the pain it would cause to the Giants fans in your life if Saquon wins the Super Bowl. That's how you stomach it. All right, we got time for, you know what? 2 more calls unless anyone else calls in. V8 the Great and Kyle Clifton are the next 2. What's up, V8?
Jake, my guy, it's been a minute. I've been in like purgatory. This season has given me such a mental breakdown. I think I've grown a ton of gray hairs. But
I feel that.
You know, with the new GM coming in, who would be your top 3 prospects, like positions you would want to draft? Because I know everyone's saying Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe are rising in the draft. I'm an Alabama fan, and I'm here to say Jalen Milroe is not it unless he goes to like the Raiders or maybe like beats a backup for the Ravens or the Eagles. But who will be your top 3 in your opinion?
I would say BPA, right? Like I don't think you just reach for a position with where the Jets are. It's not a star-studded draft, so get a good player first and foremost at 7 if you're staying there. But I mean, defensive tackle, obviously quarterback. Like if Shador or Cam are there at 7, they won't be.
Yeah,
that's different. But defensive tackle, wide receiver is a need. Corner could be a need depending on what they want to do with the roster there. With Reed a free agent, I don't think he'll be back. But I would say defensive tackle, defensive end. Right, Jermaine's coming off the Achilles, and you can always use more depth there. DT, DE, safety, but I wouldn't do it at 7.
Yeah.
Tight ends in need too. I don't know if I would take Warren as high as 7, but it's going to be discussed.
Yeah, Warren's really good. I like Mason Graham. I love Mason Graham.
That falls in the DT category. Yep.
Yeah, Mason Graham is, and but do you think Aaron Glenn's going to want to do a rotation like how we're usually doing right now, or do you think it's going to be like? Because I saw
not
like
to
he
the
likes to
extent
blitz a lot.
Saleh did. Yeah, not to
Yeah,
the
he-
extent Saleh did with the basically like hockey line changes. But
Yeah.
no, I mean but like I love Jermaine Johnson. He's coming off the Achilles. They could use more
Yes.
defensive end depth regardless.
Of course,
Like,
of
look at the
course.
Eagles. Look how they built their team. The Lions, same thing.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get like another. Because I think Hassan's not coming back. I don't know where he's gonna go. And like Abdul Carter, JJ, and
If Abdul Carter is somehow there, I mean,
you got to do it. You got to do it.
there's talk of him going 1. Like that's how good he is.
Like I finally sat down and watched the bowl games, and I really I'm like, oh, okay, he's ready. He's NFL ready. But Mason Graham, as much as it hurt me to see him beat my Bama, the Crimson Tide last year and for the championship, he's great. Even though he didn't play in this bowl game, but yeah, he's great. But I don't know. I've been like trying to key in on like what my personal favorite player is, but like you said, it's not star-studded draft, so we'll see.
V8, good to hear from you, man. Call back more. Hopefully,
I will.
Hopefully,
I'm out of this
positive
purgatory.
V8 will continue. All right.
Yeah, of course. I'm not going to be a scoundrel like Allen. I promise.
I love it. Good call, V8. Well done, man. That's awesome. So is Luppy, man. How about a 5 spot of channel memberships? I think Luppy and Matthew C, I think, have gifted all the memberships as far as the five packs go. Thank you, Luppy. Appreciate you. And I know how much you love this.
Excuse me.
Thank you very much. Charles, 5 from Luppy. Here we go. DJ, Al DeMarco, Lawrence Rubin, LBJ Fan, Foolie McGooly ENT, all receiving channel memberships. Love that. Imagine the Jets got Abdul Carter. It won't happen, but imagine. Big fella super chats. A Castleway, or what is this? A Castlewary is an Australian turkey. A Castlewary is an Australian turkey. Okay. I'm not familiar with that. I think I probably mispronounced that too. Nick Shine says, when Charles farts, Jake farts.
Excuse me.
Maybe. I won't tell you, Nick. By the way, Nick, do you still want to do a show tomorrow? I was going to text you, but then the other GM stuff happened. I was working. Let me know if you're free to do a show. I'm going out tonight, so I don't want to do too early. I'm not doing it hungover. I'm also working tomorrow. I'll text you. Kyle, you're up next. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on, Jake? I don't know if you saw, but Sports Illustrated, of all places, published an article in the last couple of hours about Elway. And apparently Spytek and Adam Peters and Mougey are all from the Elway tree. They all worked under Elway.
Do they drink a lot?
I don't know if they have their own vineyards, but
I got some good Elway stories about him out drinking, but I won't share that on the show. I'll save that for Patreon users.
It's funny. If you go to his Instagram, it's all about the vineyards. But I think he must have abandoned his Twitter profile because it still has him as president of football operations and general manager of the Denver Broncos.
I ran into Elway at the combine last year, and some fun times that were had.
I don't doubt it. I mean, he's lived a life, that guy. But it's kind of weird. He's kind of disregarded for his time in the front office, even though they won, because it didn't end well. But I mean, all those guys for Spytek and Mougey to get jobs this cycle, and for Adam Peters to have this kind of meteoric rise, it's just kind of interesting. That they, I guess, at the very least, Elway had a decent support staff there with him during his time in Denver.
Did. And look, I mean, he ultimately Elway's value was he got Peyton Manning to commit to the Broncos.
Right.
That's worth it right there. They won a championship. They went to 2. His legacy was set before he became the GM for obvious reasons.
Right. And I think with these additions, and I saw there were a lot of people negative in the chat about it, and I don't really see what purpose that serves. The tack to take here is guarded optimism, right? None of us are abandoning this team. it's if you believe that the problem was coaching, and I definitely believe the problem was coaching over the last 2 or 3 years, then a change was necessary. And even if you think Joe Douglas was a decent personnel guy, he had too many misses to stay on. So let's get some guys that are in lockstep. Let's see if we can do it. It's going to fail until it works, and that's what you have to. That's how you have to think about it.
100%. Cautious optimism is how I would describe it. We don't know. I think we like the potential of these candidates. You see what they saw. It's just you never know with any first timer.
Yeah. Thanks for your time, Jake.
Kyle, great call. Appreciate you. Curly says you can't be negative, Kyle. This team has given us nothing to be positive about. You can be negative, Curly, but why do you have to be so out there negative about everything? Like, just say you don't love it. I don't love 2 first-timers either. I'm going to give them a chance. You're burying this before they even met the media. Let's see. I think we're caught up on super chats. All right. Is it time to bring in the closer? Is it? Can we handle the closer tonight? We're going to find out.
It's Chiefs fan.
Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches.
It's Chiefs fan.
I'm just going to rub my hands together all day.
It's Chiefs fan.
There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch.
Let's hear it for Chiefs fan.
Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill. Yo, what up, Jake? I just got home and showered. Don't mind me. I have multiple gray shirts that look like this. I went to Goodwill a few weeks ago and they had a bunch of gray shirts for like 50 cents. So I bought them. They look all the same, but like...
That's out of my price range, Chiefs fan. Good for you.
I mean, it's just 50 cents a t-shirt. And
That's more than I make in a month.
Well, that Goodwill's going out of business because no one goes in there and buys. So I went in there and dropped a $100 bill. Like $7 on me and then $93 on stuff to donate for the winter cause because we're going to have even worse winters. So people could be ready for next year.
Dave Brigger wants to know what was for dinner.
I decided to not get the Big Mac, but I did get the double quarter pounder of bacon. And then I had reward points, so I got a medium fry and a Sprite. So I actually saved more by buying them separately. The main reason why I have rewards is I don't eat at McDonald's that much, but my friend does. So he hands me the money and I just get the reward points. So when we're driving, I'm like, okay, punch in my card. Here's your purchase. Thanks for the reward points. And I had like 4,000 reward points. So I got myself a medium fry. And then I got myself a free soda.
That's tremendous. Yeah. Now, how did it taste? Did it live up to the hype?
Good. I shouldn't have had the onions, but every once in a while it doesn't hurt you. The movie we wanted to see wasn't where we wanted to watch. So we just decided to go to my friend's place and we decided to sit down in the basement and put on one of the most shittiest movies, Cowboys and Aliens, but we had a good time.
Jack is speculating that you have a dirty microwave. Is this true?
Oh, no. I keep my microwave clean, even though I have a retro microwave since I decided not to buy my new one. And by retro, I mean like 5 years old, because they were going to get rid of the older models. So if you can hear the messenger going off, I've said a group chat. If they were going to get rid of one of the older models that they brung in to Goodwill, never used. And I'm like, how old is this? 5 or 7 year old microwave. They only wanted $25 for it. When it retails $75, I bought one of those. And then I have a second microwave that I let my friend borrow, but it's from the 90s because he doesn't want to go out and buy a new one. So he's getting the radiation. I'm not.
Sounds like you've really mastered the art of the deal.
Well, when you live in Chicago, you master that. Especially like today, everyone like piled up and gave me the cash to order their stuff on there. So I got a shit ton of reward points. And I don't mind doing that because I have McDonald's accepts gift cards, and my sister-in-law, who's part of my adopted family, which is one of the only people I talk to in that small group of people now. The other 6% to 5% is I just talk about sports and that's it. She's like, I'm sorry for what went wrong with your family, yada yada. Here's a $100 Visa gift card. And I've just been using that. And that's what covered all the food today for me and the guys. Yeah, I have to be a number one seed, but if I get upset, so be it. If I make it to the Elite Eight, don't make it to the Elite Four, so be it. If we have like a 10th seed going against me in the Elite Eight, and a 10th seed beats me, I want the 10th seed to win it all.
Luppy says Chiefs fan equals deal breaker 666.
Yeah, I tried to hustle. Last night, the guys who wanted to do the store credit thing decided to back out after looking at the injury report. So I only decided to do one $50 bet. Two of them decided to back out because they looked at the injury report and we are at 100%. All the Bills players are injured. So I'm like, are you mad that we're backing out? I'm like, no. That's $100 less in store credit that the card shop that I get stuff from, I'm gonna have to put out. Now the other person's like, I want that 50. Thank you, Festus. So I really hope that we win, because even if I like only lose 50, it's fine. But like, I don't want Buffalo to have anything nice. The only Buffalo team I care for is the Sabres, and that's because I have siblings that used to go to the games when they would visit my uncle. And they became Sabres fans and Blues fans at the same time. So I would never understand why someone would be a Sabres fan, but like, I don't want to see anything good for the Bills. I've never wanted to see anything good for the Bills. Growing up, I told my uncle I felt sorry for the Bills. He's like, you better take that back or you're not going to the Yankee game.
Well, Chiefs fan, I'll tell you what. 99% of the Jet fan base is behind you tomorrow. So I would like to end this call with you giving us one of those Chiefs, signature chants, all right?
Go Chiefs. Let's go Chiefs. Let's go Chiefs. Let's go Chiefs. Let's go Chiefs. And maybe one day the Jets can have another Super Bowl.
Now what I need you to do is give me a da 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 da.
Da, 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 da. One last thing before I go. All those who are mad about the Aaron Glenn signing.
Give me a tomahawk chop. I need it.
Oh, no. I thought tomahawk chop wasn't politically correct.
No, it is. You guys do it at the games. Of course it's
all right,
it's
fine.
Correct. Let's go. With the beat.
Da, na, 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 na. Oh God, I feel dirty doing this. I thought.
Let's go, Chiefs fan, baby. Jet fans for Chiefs fans.
I don't want.
It's Chiefs fan. Guess what? I'm still looking for a job, bitches. It's Chiefs fan. I'm just going to rub my hands together all day. It's Chiefs fan. There's a whole lot of DNA on this couch. Let's hear it for Chiefs fan. Look, it's my dead neighbor that I didn't kill.
Chiefs fan, it's called Arrowhead Stadium, all right? Let it rip. Let's go. I'm a Chiefs fan for tomorrow. Go Patrick Mahomes. Go Travis Kelce. Go Taylor Swift. Can't wait. Beat the Bills for the love of God. All right, fun show. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. I just wrapped up 8 hours of broadcasting today. So I am done here. Maybe a YouTube show tomorrow. If not, don't kill me because I'm on ESPN New York for 4 hours, 4 to 8. So tune in there. Enjoy the games tomorrow, everyone. Remember when the Jets were playing in AFC title games? I do. Connor Long doesn't. Chris G doesn't. V-Man's probably too high. He doesn't. But once upon a time, the Jets actually played in an AFC Championship game twice. Back-to-back years. In fact, they actually had the lead at halftime in one of them. Man, those are the days, huh? You know what? We retired this, but since we're talking about the AFC title game, I end tonight's show with this. Have a good night, everybody. Go Jets.
Oh, yeah. You know what time it is. You tried to throw him away, but this man's coming back. Sometimes he's fat or thin. That waistband makes him slim. He's got the fix you need. They call him sexy. Rexy.
Fuck Gruden, he's no Jet. I'm here to crack some skulls. I'll turn these boys to men. This team is stacked with pros. Hire me, you won't break your purse. I'm here to break the curse. They call me sexy Rexy. Fuck all you naysayers.